Hi Sanjeevi, good evening. Sanjeevi, am I audible? Check, mic check. People who are watching on YouTube, you can very well go ahead and subscribe for this. Attend this free webinar by registering free. Head over to Stock and Profits and go to the webinar section, and you can join the Zoom meeting. Hello Rajarajan sir, good evening.
Good evening.
Greetings to those people who are on YouTube also. You can join this live webinar if you are registered for free on the stockandprofits.com. Head over to stockandprofits.com and you can attend this Zoom direct. Hi Suresh, good evening.
Hi Prasanna. Good evening.
Okay, I'll start with the most intriguing thing. I'll start with the Nifty 50 analysis. Now we all know that Nifty is taking all-time high every day, every week, right? So if you were in our Telegram channel, and we clearly told the end of the March and the April 1st, 2nd weeks are highly important, the weekly closings, because if the closing is gonna have a low, and if that low is not being breached, then I told we might see a rally in the Nifty towards the all-time high. Now all-time high, I always say, I am still looking for Nifty. I am still waiting for Nifty to close on a very good monthly closing, but that is the only decision that we need to wait and watch. And on the weekly time frame, if you see, this is the March last week, towards the last week, towards the March end. So this is the 20th of March and this is the 27th of March. So post that, if you would have seen, Nifty haven't made a low.
Prasanna, sorry to interrupt. Are you sharing your screen?
Not yet. Oh, sorry. This is for the. Oh, thank you for the Zoom people. I haven't shared. Thank you for this thing, Suresh. Yeah. Nothing. I did nothing special here, but just looking at the low. So there was a very big rally on Nifty. There was a rally on mid cap, but you should know, like I said last week, there isn't a rally on small caps, right? And also on the auto segment, there is a rally. What is happening in Nifty? Why there is so much buying? What about the news that is in? Isn't there enormous news? Or is Nifty just shooting up just because Modi ji has went to America? Or is there any political reasons that has been happening? Let us keep the macros aside, right? Now let me speak in terms of liquidity, as in terms of monthly liquidity, and that is what I wanted you to learn and gauge into, right? So the all-time high at 18th November. What happened? a small liquidity sweep. And if you know, if you are a monthly rollover future investor or into an option, you would know that the liquidity sweep happened and the market came down till 16,000 from 18,000, right? Again, now what is the same case that is happening? Wait for a good monthly turn if you are going good into investments into Nifty. You should wait for a monthly note. We should wait for a monthly close if you are heading over to Nifty's investment. So that is what I would personally see. That is what I am personally seeing. So if I am going to see any sort of red candles, if I am going to see any stalling that is happening in Nifty, stalling in the sense nothing but I'm meaning about if the Nifty is taking the highs between 19,200 and the lows between 18,400, that is when I mean that the stalling, right? If I'm going to see some sort of consolidation into Nifty, then I am not going to invest. I'm going to wait for a perfect signal. Like I said, no direction is equal to no trade, right? So this is the long-term view of Nifty. But if you were there in the OB webinar, you would clearly know what is the monthly demand on Nifty. This is the monthly demand, that is nothing but the 17,808, and the monthly demand closes at the levels of 16,827. Now, if somebody is coming and betting you that Nifty is going to bearish, Nifty is going to be crash, it's gonna go for a bear run, don't believe them until Nifty is closing below 16,827. Remember my simple thing. It is a battle between two countries, right? It is a battle between two wars, and every gate has to be breached, every line has to be crossed before the castle is won. In order to win the castle that is there downside, Nifty has to cross between 16,827 to 17,808. That is the first breach line that I want you to focus on the monthly time frame, right? So 3 continuous candles on the Nifty green, definitely there will be profit booking coming in, right? And we have already started to get signals on the weekly time frame itself. My simple thumb rule always: wicks on top, it is sellers; wicks on bottom, it is buyers, right? If there is a weekly close below this one, which is 806.56, there is going to be immense profit booking coming into the Nifty. Again, mark my words, this is what I mean by profit booking, which means is equal to retracement, not a bearish or a correction. If you want to understand the percentage values between dip, correction and crash, please go to YouTube and you can search into our channel and you can very well know. So this is where our weekly demand lies in. So our weekly demand lies between 18,888 to 18,647. Now what does that mean? What does that mean to me for the next upcoming week? If Nifty is breaching this low, this is the last weekly low. I'm marking it as the last swing low because I can take it as the last daily or the lower time frame swing low. If Nifty is breaching below 19,281, watch out for this demand because there are orders that are waiting here on this demand level. Until this demand level orders are being absorbed, you are not supposed to concentrate on the levels below, which is lying at the 18,400 to 1800 situation. Now, this is a very big demand here. This is a very big demand. There are imbalances, there are gaps, but one good thing is that I don't see any runaway gaps on Nifty on the weekly time frame here. If you head back towards the daily time frame, the range where it made almost close to an all-time high at November 22, you could see that there is a runaway gap here at 17,879. So it's 879. This is called as a runaway gap. A weekly gap that is sitting very tight is meant to be closed very soon on the time frames. So on that case, there is no sort of any runaway gaps here. So you might start to see slow price action filling all these gaps that are here, right? So that's the Nifty on the weekly time frame. Now I'm gonna say the levels again. That's 18,888 to 18,647. These are the demands unless or until 19,218. Take it as a psychological round number. 19,200 is being covered and closed. Fine. Now I'm coming to a swing time frame here. I can clearly see on a swing time frame. Just hold on. Just pardon me. Sorry, pardon me for that. I had to cough a lot. So yes, I can see runaway gaps, especially towards the all-time high. So this is a very good gap. Gaps are meant to be supports and resistances in the upcoming timeline, and all these levels will be surely closed for sure. So let's take. I'm gonna reveal you a simple option strategy. If you are office goers, this is towards the option buying. You can very well try to use this. First, try to back test it, and then try to use this option strategy, right? So what is the strategy that is mainly being shared here? Any ideas, any guesses that what you can see here on this levels? So if the high of the previous candle is broken, that is where the entry signal is. So not only the high, you should see three certain conditions. The high should be higher than the previous high, the low should be higher than the previous high, the close should be previous than the previous close, and the open should be higher than the previous open. Basically, all the new OHLC values that are there on the lower time frame, it should be higher compared to the previous candle. That is a very small trick that you can very well use here in these time frames. And one simple thing where you can add more confluence into is add RSI into confluence. Where will we take entries into RSI? As I have been telling you from the past into Nifty, into the YouTube channel, whenever it is crossing the 60, whenever it is crossing the 60s mark, and whatever the RSI that we are using here is RSI BB EMA dispersion. Everybody new here. If you don't, please head over to the open community and the settings are there. When the RSI is crossing 60 and when this condition is getting fulfilled, go ahead and put on a simple charting filter that is going to give you enormous swing stocks. You can trade swing stocks daily. You can trade swing stocks even on a weekly. You can hold for 1 week and you can very well do that. So simple thing, I'll repeat it again. The current OHLC values should be greater than the previous OHLC values. And that is where you're going to take entries on the market prices. So that's Nifty on the swing trading time frame. Right now, I'm gonna jump over to one more time frame, which is the 75 minute. Under the 75 minutes, I am already starting to see that profit booking has beautifully stepped into the market. Now, we don't know where the opening is gonna be there for tomorrow. We are never going to know where is the opening. It might be down, it might be up, but we don't know where the opening is. But if in case there is an opening that is happening around the levels of 19,200, this last swing low is going to act as a resistance tomorrow. In the case if there is a sell on rise situation, right? And if the opening is going again above 19,535, stay on sidelines. Again, as per technicals, stay on sidelines is something what I'm meaning. I'm not suggesting or directing you to stay on sidelines, but this is what might happen. When we don't have the higher values, when we don't have the upper side values of Nifty or any stock at an all-time high, try to understand what is happening. Try to understand into the stock what might be the next move, and always have RSI into confluence. Right now, what do you see in the RSI? We are sitting on the 75-minute time frame. The reason why I'm in the 75 minutes time frame is because it completes the full cycle of Nifty 50, or at least the Indian market time, not Nifty 50, the Indian market time. 75 minutes is a full cycle of one full day, and you can very well get the whole idea on the price action, where the day started and what it end and what it means. Are there buyers on the stock or are there sellers on the stock? 75 minutes, it's the key to the market, and I want you to concentrate more on 75 rather than any other rapid timings for the swings. Right? Cool. So this is going to be the strategy, and very well we are seeing the RSI turn down to the red. I'll delete this blue line if it is confusing for you. The RSI is at 50. It has crossed down from 60. It's at 50. Next stopping for the RSI could be the 40. And can you see the gaps here, and there is pure imbalance all over. there is pure imbalance in all over these spaces, and this is the next demand that I could expect if Nifty still starts to drop over here, right? So what might be the price action here on the lower time frame on 75 minutes? This could be the price action if it is opening below or if it is opening flat, because we are seeing a profit booking trying to step in. Cool. So what is the last retracement that we can check? This is the last low, and we are already seeing rejections coming in. If these rejections are going to be continuous, and if you can see our demand level and the 618, which is the golden level, matches perfectly to our levels too. Cool. So this is a key level that you might want to watch if you are trading swings, if you are doing holding and positional on the Nifty. Now for the intraday players, what is the thing that you need to watch for intraday? Now heading over to the intraday level, I am seeing a partial head and shoulder pattern that is being forming over here, but you should be careful of these spaces because this is a very good supply level on the upper side. This is a sell zone, and this is a good perfect sell zone that is sitting tight between the levels of 19500 to 19350, right? These are the sell zones. If the market is taking a turn at here, watch for the bearish candles on the sell zones. Just don't go blindly towards any trades or execution. If you are seeing bearish on the resistance, that's when you have your execution. If you are seeing bullish on the support, that's when you're going to have the execution. So that is how you need to trade, right? And also be mindful of this gap. Don't worry, all these levels will be posted on the open community group under stocks and profits, and you can very well get it there. So from a long-term view to an intraday, this is where Nifty is standing. Moving on to Bank Nifty. I know a lot of major players here are playing into Bank Nifty, and you're all confused where the financial and the banking sector is still going in. Now, I did not delete my drawing from the last previous thing, and yes, if you can see, I did draw this liquidity, but on the weekly time frame, right? We are sitting on the weekly of Bank Nifty time frame. There is a good rally, there is a last engulfing, and there is a gap up, and I am seeing a shooting star on a Bank Nifty's weekly time frame. Now, what does this shooting star means? Now, whenever a shooting star happens, all we need to do is mark the highs and lows. Forget about everything. Just mark the highs and the lows of the shooting star. Now, let me delete all these levels because these were drawn for the intraday levels of support while I was trading back. And if you could see, this is the first demand level. If we are going to see Bank Nifty is breaching 44,925, consider it as 44,900. Take it as a psychological round number, because that is how the orders will be punched into the systems. It will not be punched like, okay, 44,925, go in for 1,000 quantities of buying and so on. So I mean 1,000 in the sense of 1,000 millions of quantities. It never happens like that, right? It's an average of a range on everything, because liquidity is the key. Think in terms of liquidity. That's what I have been trying to say from the beginning, right? There is a good rally from the bottom, right? From 38,612, there is a very good rally from here, and Bank Nifty is showing its first sign of weakness. What does that actually mean? First sign of weakness from the bulls, not from the bears. Bears are trying to look into a position in Bank Nifty like, okay, if we are having a breach at 44,900, that is where we take the fort. Where is the first battle that's going to happen? The first battle is going to happen between the bears and the bulls at 4,400, 44k and 43,350. This is the range that the first battle, which means there could be some stagnant happening at these positions, right? Only if this demand is taken out, I want you to focus to the next demand and not until that. Okay, looking at a very long-term perspective, where is Bank Nifty standing? We should always gauge that, right? Now, you might see that this is forming into a rising wedge pattern, right? If I'm forming for a rising wedge pattern at this point, but we cannot be sure of exiting positions or taking any shots unless or until a at least below 40k. 40k is a very good round number here, unless or until 40k on the long term, because the time frame that we are sitting here is on the monthly time frame. On the monthly, for the long term, unless or until 40k is being taken out, that is when we are going to look for profit booking into the market, because that is another opportunity for the banks to take into control and look over these spaces. Look over these spaces. What do you see? What does your eyes see at these spaces? Now, I'm not saying that immediately tomorrow Bank Nifty is going to land at 36,000, but these are spaces of demand. These are spaces where the buy orders are still waiting for the execution, right? And just take a very simple logic. This is the month of March. First one, second one, third one, and fourth one. From March till June, there has been continuous buying until that's March, April, May, and June. There is continuous buying into Bank Nifty. Won't you at least book at least 38% of the profit that has been put in here? That too, it's at all-time high. Now think of the people who have entered into Bank Nifty or into the banking stocks from the Corona crash. Won't they at least try to book the profits, right? Think in terms of those shoes, and that's when you are going to start to win the market. Now, looking onto the daily time frame, yes, I am seeing bearish signal very well into Bank Nifty, because why do I say that? The daily time frame, there is a long leg doji here, right? This is where people, you need to look at the perfect indecision. This is where it marks the indecision, and indecision happens after a very good up rally or after a very good down rally, or when the stock is sideways. They did not know where to take the market, and it was an inside bar on 5th July, right? And they were trying to see some sort of bullishness over here, but it did not stand. But focus on this point. This was the last swing low on the lower time frame, was breached 45k. If tomorrow Bank Nifty is opening and closing below, you are going to see more downside towards Bank Nifty at 44,225. These are the spaces that I want you to focus more towards Bank Nifty, and this is a very good demand zone on the intermediate on the daily time frame, right? So 44,508 and 44,163. These are the levels that you could watch if this swing low. So there is an alert over here already, so I'll just mark these alerts so that you can get it for free. Bank Nifty daily time frame crossing 44,844. It's a round number. It's a very good round number. I did not mark it on purpose. It just came in aligned with coincidence. Now, what is here for intraday players? Where should be the focus here for intraday players? Like I said, there is a clear perspective of head and shoulders pattern that is being formed into the Bank Nifty. And yes, we do have an RSI divergence in place. Watch for this level. This could act as a very good sell level on Bank Nifty in the upcoming weeks. This is for a weekly time frame, and these two are a good supply zones for Bank Nifty if it is trying to go up. And also do mind the gap. Like they say in metros, do mind the gap. Gaps are parts of supports and resistances. Now see, think in terms. It was an all-time high. They started to sell it, and there was very few buying. Again, there is a start of selling. Again, they came in. Again, there will be a start of selling, and again, that's when they'll start to push the market down. Think in terms of trends, and you are going to win the market, right? I am not satisfied with the RSI that is sitting there on the 15 minute or the daily time frame, because if you see, it is very close to 40 on the 75 minute time frame, and if you look on the daily time frame, it is at 60, and it is coming from an overbought region, right? So that is the stake on Bank Nifty. So this is the levels that I want you to watch. Now, one of the major key things that you can watch here on Reliance is that it's too shabby here. Let me open Reliance, and I'll go for open questions from you all. You can very well put in your stock analysis if you want me to analyze. Yes, Reliance, right? Reliance is sitting on a very crucial resistance, is what I would say here. Because Reliance has been trying to struggle up and go down from the past days. I don't see a swift move like Nifty or Bank Nifty or any other small caps and mid caps that happened. And Reliance is making a very tight and tough move, and it is giving head pains for a lot of option buyers. If Reliance is dropping down tomorrow, this is a good key level that you can watch for Reliance on the downside. So this is a good key level: 2615, 2595 and 2576. Post that, only then you could watch out for these spaces. Sorry, pardon me. Yeah, these are the upcoming demand levels for Reliance. Now if I take over my GAN tool, that is my GAN tool, it's my favorite GAN angle tool. I'm gonna draw the GAN lines, and we are going to see if Reliance has crossed the line or it is still going to sustain above the lines. Poof, it crossed. It did, right? So this was an area of resistance. The total line, whatever you are seeing here, this is an area of resistance. Pardon me. So it tried to breach over this resistance line, resistance angle, and it tried to sustain here. Every time it reaches here, it drops. It reaches here, it drops, and a perfect shooting star at the resistance level is the key, right? So watch for this level 26. I'll mark it as a very good round number, 2626. If 2626 is being breached, watch for 2595 on the downside if there is bearishness into the market for Reliance, right? Cool. So I'll go over to stocks and questions. And Srihari, you asked if I'm going for selling CE, how can I select my strike price in Nifty? Srihari, frankly accepting, not a seller, but I think you've been into selling for the past good years since you have joined our course. If you are going for selling into CE in Nifty, right? So I think it's better that you should watch for the direction and then you start to do it.
Yes, sir. Sir, option chain data.
Yeah, directly option chain data. Go over and check the monthly data, because that is where the institutions are sitting tight. That is when they have their hedged positions for the holdings. So you can very well look for the monthly data. That is going to serve you very good purpose rather than the weekly data. Weekly data on the option chain is dynamic. It keeps changing, because there are a lot of pro retailers and retailers into, and it will change. If you want data.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sure, thank you, Srihari. And Suresh, you have asked, could you say how to draw demand and supply zone? We have a free open webinar under stocks and profits. You can go over and check the webinar section. So I've taken a free webinar on imbalances, and that is where I taught how to draw the supply zones and how to watch out for these supply zones. Sanjeevi, thanks for the meeting. Your key view on Kaveri seeds. Kaveri seeds, yeah. I hope you are asking on the NSE or not the BSE. Kaveri seeds, yes. A lot of volatile stock, isn't it? Kaveri seeds for me on the weekly, monthly, everywhere, it's like this is very similar to PFC. Can you see the pattern that is coming here? Sure, I should delete that, and actually this is the proper way to draw the trend line, but sometimes due to time, right, we don't do that. So this is the proper way to draw the trend lines. This is for the resistance and this is for the support. Yeah, price compression is happening. If Kaveri seeds tend to be on the uptrend, it is on the uptrend, because we are still seeing low, high, higher lows, lower high, which means price is compressing. If you want to go for a confirmed decisions, watch out for these two levels on Kaveri seeds. Now looking at the demands and supply, we are sitting on the monthly time frame. Whatever I'm sharing here is the monthly, right? So these are good demands if Kaveri seeds is dropping by, if it is planning to dropping by, right? But I can't say anything. There is zero comments on the weekly time frame, because this needs to be taken out on the weekly. So it's a very good breakout, but if it is taken out, these are the good supplies, upcoming supplies on the weekly time frames for Kaveri seeds. So yes, Veeradevi, metal sector ONGC share short term view definitely.
Sir,
Let's go to
sir, one doubt, sir.
Yeah, Srihari.
Sir, if at all it is reaching supply zone, previous. Yes, sir. If it is breaking and reaching supply zone, at the supply zone we can expect we can look out for bearish candles, right?
Yeah, so you mean to ask if it is breaching supply zone?
Yes, yes, sir. What சார் இப்போ சப்ளை ஜோன் பிரீச் ஆகி மேலே போகுது அப்படின்னா அதுக்கான இண்டிகேஷன் என்ன சார்? ரீடெஸ்ட் எடுத்துட்டு தான் போகுமா, இல்லை ரீடெஸ்ட் எடுக்காமயே பிரீச் பண்ணி போகுமா, எப்படி சார்?
Okay.
ரீடெஸ்ட் இஸ் மஸ்ட் இல்ல?
Sure. I'll give you a perfect example from the classical thing. If it is breaching the supply zone,
Yes, sir.
it means that whatever the army that the buyers bought, whatever the army that, let's say there are 1,000 men here in the army, and at the supply zone the army of men is just 500, right? So this is something called as lifting the offer. So when it is breaching, there will be a retest on the supply, and that is when you need to watch. If it doesn't breach, there will be a good bearish candle.
Yes, sir.
Same applies for the demand zone too. If the demand is being breached, whenever it is trying to come up, it will be a sell on rise situation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so heading back to metal sector, metal is like sitting tight in this range, still in an uptrend. We are looking on a weekly time frame, and I'll come to a few metal stocks after this, and it's better that you watch metal sector if you are in metal stocks investing. And I know a lot of you have Tata Steel into portfolio, and I'll also analyze Tata Steel here too. Metal sector is sideways, complete sideways, but never underestimate sideways stocks. One classical case is Motabai. If you would have seen monthly time frame, whomever who have holded patience from the year of 2007 to 2017, 10 year if you had patience, now you will be so rich and happy that you holded the stock. Let's say you exited the stock somewhere around 2017, that is when the rally actually started. The people who bought at 2017 and even at 2011, they would have never left the stock out on the corona crash, even on the corona crash, right? Likewise, if you are into metal, CNX metal is the signal. Yeah, Nifty metal. If you are into metal, again, we are sitting on the monthly time frame. Yes, I did show the weekly, but on the monthly, yes, on the weekly it's pure sideways. It's a game. It's a ping pong game between the supplies and the resistance. If I could mark it right, numbers doesn't matter on the index. So this is a buy zone, right? So the first time it went, it created a fresh supply zone over here. If you can see, this is a fresh supply zone, meaning 10,000 orders were punched here. Among them, only 5,000 got filled. Market again came up to here to take out the rest of the 5,000 orders, and now it is back. Now this is a very good case of whatever Srihari here was asking. So if you could focus on this space, this is again a order space. So you might watch on the metal sector if it is coming here. It might go over to an all-time new too. But again, candle confirmation is always the key. Price action is always the key. When I say price action, I mean candlestick, chart, patterns, and everything. The price, the base price of everything. So watch out for metal sector if it is again trying to gain up here. Again, on the daily, on the weekly, metal sector is still on the bullish, but it is on sideways. Now, correlating with metal sector, when I say metal, everybody minds go to Tata Steel. As in the case of noodles, I say Maggi, right? So Tata Steel, even I am waiting for this resistance zone to break out. So this resistance zone was continuous. There is still selling going into Tata Steel. Unless this last swing high is taken out, which is 125, Tata Steel will not see any bullishness. But there is a strong demand zone here waiting at Tata Steel. On any cases, if metal sector is taking a take on resistance, you might also see a drop on Tata Steel over here. So this is metal sector's reason. Now I'm going to see ONGC share. This is for the short term view. Short term views are weekly time frame is good for short term view. Okay, cool. So seems like my last analysis is still in praise. Okay. So yes, I did this when price was consolidating here, but then the consolidation broke out. If you can see, these were areas of support for ONGC, right? These were areas of support, and it still respected all those support, and it came here. Now let me delete everything. Super cool. Now looking at a monthly time frame, it's always better to look at the monthlies and then come in, right? So let me mark over a good case for a long term at 195 and 120. This is where we are going to focus for ONGC and none other than else. For the weekly time frame, I'm gonna mark these levels here and until here. So this is going to be the play between 169 to 150 on the weekly. We do have a good supply level for ONGC coming up at 171 to 179. This is a very good supply level for ONGC. If that supply level is taken, the next resistance is going to be 195. Now let me do the favorite thing here. It's none other than the GAN lines. Look out for the GAN angles and where it is going to lead into. Now if I draw the supports, this is the support line, and this is going to be the resistance. Yes, now the work for the GAN angle is over. Cool. Yes, as you can see, it's a perfect bounce over here. It perfectly bounced on the support lines and it is still staying on the support lines. ONGC, if it is going to breach this support line, only then you are going to see some sort of bearishness, but watch for this supply. This is an upcoming good supply for ONG 171 to 179, and yes, it correlates with our analysis too. And yes, RSI is from the oversold to the overbought. You might see some chances of ONGC if it is breaching above 169. So that's the analysis for you. Any more stocks or anyone want to have a doubt, you can go ahead. And yes, definitely all these levels, all these analysis will be posted on the open group community, and it's definitely available on YouTube. You can rewind back and watch out. So I know a lot of you
Sir, one doubt, sir.
Yeah,
sir. You told like if it is Nifty is crossing this high, you asked us to stay sidelines, right? So does that mean like you are expecting some kind of bullishness? Bullishness may come. Is that your expectation? Like otherwise, like what is the ahead supply zone ahead above 19500? What is the supply zone above 19500? Is there any supply zones?
I don't see any sort of supply zones because this is a fresh area where Nifty is stepping into because it's from an all-time high. But
yes, sir.
I can give you the resistance numbers for Nifty right away. Just give me a minute.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, Veera Devi ma'am, sorry, I forgot to switch on the microphone. So those who have missed the Dabur analysis, I was just saying this bearish engulfing happened because of the supply zone from the previous past that we drew, and even the weekly demand that has bounced on Dabur at the 504. I was just saying that I never know when this diagram was drawn, but the candle are acting persistently. So these were the levels that you need to watch for Dabur, is what I was saying. And going over to SBI Life here, I am seeing sideways to resistances. I'm seeing good cute rejections on SBI Life, that too on the supply zone. Simple thumb rule: wicks on top, sellers; wicks on bottom, buyers. But still, SBI Life is sitting tight on the uptrend, and this will be bearish only if this last swing low is taken out. The reason being RSI is all sideways, it's because something is happening on the weekly time frame, higher time frame. That is why it is at the sideways. Wait, is SBI high sitting at the all-time high? Cool. Rajarajan sir, thank you for bringing this stock. This is a good stock to watch. Put this on your watch list. Now let me create free alerts for you all. SBI Life crossing 1353. Yes, if SBI Life is crossing 1353, we might still have a chance that we can see some sort of an uptrend over SBI Life, because again, this consolidation started from the month of August 2021, and it's 2 years from now. Might be the consolidation could end this August, and unless or until this supply zone is taken out, we are not going to see bullishness moves into SBI Life. But on a monthly time frame, if you can see, it is still on the upside. Low, high, higher low, higher high, still on the uptrend. So that's Dabur for you. And bought LTTS near 39,000 can be hold for medium term, means for 6 to 12 months. So yes, sell. Okay, I can tell you about LTTS, but I cannot suggest if you can hold or buy because we are not SEBI registered here. You know the famous person who got banned for over a year, who was not SEBI registered, so I don't want to get into that trouble. So LTTS is, yes, sitting on the uptrend still. So the levels you bought were 39,000, right? So 39,000. So you bought LTTS at 39,000. Cool. It is still sitting on the bearishness of the weekly time frame, but I want you to watch this resistance, which is 4059. You can tune it very close to 4040 or 4060. That's a very close number, and you can watch this resistance number. So generally what my stop loss would be in this case is, I would always track the last swing low. That is my key mantra here. Last swing low. I will always keep tracking of a last swing low, because wherever the last swing low is there, that is when the stock tried to bounce up and go high, and that is where there are no orders being put into wait to take and execute, right? And looking at from the very bottom, LTTS from the weekly to the high, it did breach R. If I go over to the premium discount, if you can focus your values here, it did breach and gave a good bounce at the 618, and it is still sitting tight at the 38%. So this might be a good opportunity to watch LTTS. Price action wise, connect this one, not this one. That could be very too much to ask. Price action wise, this is sitting on a good triangle, and yes, LTTS is a good stock to watch. Thank you Viradevi ma'am for bringing this stock into the forum. LTTS and SBI Life are good stocks to watch. Krishna, you wanted to ask something?
Yeah, Prasanna, just I want, actually I am away to the market from past 15 to 20 days. Just I attended this session just for my warm up.
Okay, sure, definitely. Yeah, and one key main thing that we would always look into the small and the mid caps, because that's when that is where action happens first, and then the reaction happens on the Nifty, because mid cap, small cap, large cap, that's how redemptions happen. And we are seeing some indecisions in mid cap. We are not seeing any bullish trend. If I switch off all my drawings from the month of March, if you would have invested into any mid cap, definitely I'm not speaking in terms of small cap, because small cap is completely the price action is completely different compared to mid cap. Usually they both do correlate, but I'm not sure what is this is why I say something was cooking. I'll show you the small cap. The difference doesn't make sense. So it's just continuous buying. We are sitting on the weekly time frame, continuous buying. Zero profit booking came into the mid cap section. That makes me worry, which indicates something sooner or later is going to see into the market. Watch the price, and price is always the key. And we are seeing a pause in the momentum on the mid caps. Why do I say a pause? Because did you understand this candle? Right in the middle of nowhere, we are seeing a rejection from the top, and we are seeing a red candle. This is where orders started to come in from the upside, because mid cap is at the all-time high, and like, how many candles are these from here to here? It's like 77, 11 bars. 11 bars is equal to, on the time frame, is 11 weeks. 11 weeks pure buying, and on the 12th week, which is also related to GAN, on the 12th week, I am seeing a rejection from the top and a very good closing at close equal to low. Now I know you all would have noted open equal to high, open equal to low. Did you ever try to match with the close equal to high and the close equal to low? Did you ever to try to look into that perspective? I'm just throwing a breadcrumb here, so just try to look into that perspective too in the upcoming days. So this means someone somewhere who had bought here or bought here is trying to book in, and the rest of the orders are still waiting. So if you are into mid cap and you are seeing that your stock is not moving, that is because the stock of the mid caps are seeing exhaustion state. Can you see this is an exhaustion state? The momentum has slowly reduced and it is sitting at the exhaustion. So momentum reduction, exhaustion, signal, bearishness. So this is how a profit booking cycle will try to step in. That's mid cap for you. Yes. So I think we are time here. So thank you everyone for sharing. I do respect everybody of you because you have joined on the very good Sunday. You could have spent this 1 hour to 2 hour taking your rest, but you are interested onto the market. You are interested into learning. I give all my respects to you here. Those who were into the live. Thank you for joining. Please do stay safe in the market. If you are not seeing any direction, no direction is equal to no trades. That's it from me. Meet you all into the next week open webinar. Stay tuned and do subscribe to our channel. Thank you again. And all these levels, all these analysis will be posted most probably before market in the open club community under stocksandprofits.com. So if you haven't created a free login, please do go and register under stocksandprofits.com, and see you all in another video. Thank you everyone.